Chapter 5 or discussion. Question number 1. It would be difficult and critical for a teacher or counselor to understand the Paget theory because teachers expect for children to have obtained the knowledge that was required for a child to pass to the next grade, not realizing that some children have not obtained the knowledge necessary to be in the grade that they are in. Counselors counsel students that have issues or need guidance, whether it's educational or social. Their jobs are to provide the needs of the students with hopes that the students grasp the information being given, but not making sure that the information being given is repetitive, that it stays in one's head. Teachers and counselors cannot complete the same task every day because every day the world evolves. So it's a new lesson every day. Students also don't have the knowledge to learn from other students. Question number 2. Example of a script is when I go to the grocery store. Before I enter the store, I already know what I'm going to buy and how much money I'm going to spend on the item. When I purchase a pack of meat, for instance, I look for the cheapest pack because I didn't go in to spend a lot of money. I pull out my phone and I tally up the packs of meat. I proceed to the checkout, and normally when I have some change left over, I always get me a snack because that's my hard work. So it's like a repetitive thing every time I go in the store. Question number 3. For example, my 2-year-old niece. 2-year-olds love watching Dora. Of course, Dora is a short little girl with a backpack with a short bob with a purple shirt. So I take my niece to the store. She see a short young lady with a short haircut like Dora with a purple shirt and a backpack on. So she taps me. She's like, Auntie, Dora the Explorer, Dora the Explorer. Question number 4. There are 4 stages of cognitive development theory. We are currently studying the sensor-motor stage. The common characteristics of this stage is using the motor skills, such as touching, sucking, feeling, seeing, basically using the 5 senses. Question number 5. Object permanency is when you form a mental picture of an object that you can't see, but you know that the object still exists. For example, a newborn. If mom is feeding the newborn and mom removes the bottle before the newborn is finished, of course the newborn will fuss. But mom places the bottle on the side of her in the chair. A newborn isn't going to be able to go and reach and move to get the bottle because it lacks object permanency. It has not developed. But say, for instance, a 10-month-old would be looking at where mom placed the bottle and reach in that area to retrieve the bottle. Question number 6. The zone of promaxo development is when a child is most successful at completing a task with the help of others who are skilled in that particular task versus doing the task by themselves. Scaffolding is when a parent or teacher assists a child with the task, then slowly backs off once they realize that the child has grasped the task. In the classroom, for instance, a math teacher, scaffolding, she used a problem. Let's say a math problem. She used the math problem. She breaks the problem down step by step with the class. She may do 1 or 2 more problems. But while she's doing those 1 or 2 problems, if the children have grasped what needs to be done in the steps, she's going to gradually back off and give them a problem to complete on their own. Proximal development is like, say, for instance, a study group. We all can study by ourselves. However, we become more engaged when we have people in a study group where we can hear different opinions, different answers in different ways. You're around people who may know a better way of studying or can give you a better idea of studying and be successful when it's time to test. Question number 7. Charlie mom, she used a lot of strategies in the video. For instance, when he was trying to count the red blocks, initially he was counting all the blocks, but they were all together. So he didn't have any organization when counting the blocks. So his mom was like, why don't you group the red? So he started grouping the red, but he made a mistake because he put the blue one in. So she asked him to group the red first before he started counting them because he made an error. Once he grouped the red, she asked him to be observant of the blocks and toys that was on the floor to make sure that he didn't miss anything. And he did overlook a red block. So she made him use his skills, the skills to see whether or not he can group the same items together, the skill of whether he knew his colors to group actually the red blocks together that was the same shape and the same size. He also counted wrong. So she told him to touch while he count versus just counting in his head. So that was another strategy because as he touched, he knew he didn't have to go back and recount because he had already counted. So she asked him to count. So when he counted, he made a mistake again. So she got him to retouch each block and to count again. But once he had grasped the skills that she was teaching him, he did the blue by himself. Because he remembered, she said, group everything together, touch while you count. He grouped everything together and he touched while he count, but he miscounted the blues. So he had to go back again and take his time and slowly touch each blue one by one to get the correct answer. In a sense, I kind of felt like she was scoffing him, where she guided him and supported him with grouping and the counting. Question number 8. The four methods that we're using right now is the sensomotor stage, the pre-operational stage, the concrete operational stage, and the formal operational stage. As far as where Charlie fits, I feel like he's kind of between the pre-operational stage and the concrete stage.